Brace yourselves, because rumors suggest that one of Nintendo's most iconic franchises may not return as soon as you think. Yes, the big, bold rumor spinning through the community right now is that the beloved three-dimensional Mario adventure everyone has been craving could be years away, and it's all thanks to a certain Donkey Kong Bananza that's capturing the spotlight. So, what is really going on behind Nintendo's famously closed doors? And why might Donkey Kong's building hype be overshadowing our precious new 3D Mario? In today's deep dive, we are going to unravel the theories swirling around Donkey Kong Bananza's development, piece together the timeline for the next Mario Odyssey, and see how it all fits into the bigger Nintendo Switch 2 puzzle. We will explore the details shared by former Nintendo insiders, what it means for the entire EPD Tokyo team, and how The Legend of Zelda might also be caught up in this swirling concoction of speculation. Let us begin with the big question. How did Donkey Kong Bananza, a platformer starring everyone's favorite tie-wearing gorilla, become the possible culprit behind Mario's vanishing act? During the reveal of Donkey Kong Bananza, sharp-eyed fans noticed a certain sparkle reminiscent of Super Mario Odyssey's whimsical style, especially the glitzy costumes, the delightful color palette, and that energetic feeling found in every frame. The rumor mill quickly pointed its beady eyes at EPD Tokyo, otherwise known as Production Group Number 8, which just so happens to be the very same team behind hits like Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Galaxy, and Super Mario 3D World. If those developers have pivoted to devote their brightest minds to Donkey Kong Bananza, what does that mean for everyone anxiously awaiting a new Mario adventure? That's the very conundrum that has had fans biting their nails and refreshing news feeds obsessively. Former Nintendo marketing powerhouses, including ex-staffers Kit Ellis and Krista Yang, added an extra gust of wind to this rumor storm. They speculated that unless some new arrangement had been struck behind the scenes, the same individuals who designed Super Mario Odyssey are now fully engrossed in making sure Donkey Kong Bananza swings on to the Nintendo Switch 2 in grand style. Why, you might ask? Couldn't they juggle both titles at once? Well, throughout Nintendo's storied history, the company has been known for taking its time, lava lamp slow progress in some cases, to ensure impeccable quality. The last thing Nintendo wants is to rush a mainline 3D Mario and risk tarnishing the beloved plumber's reputation. Couple that with EPD Tokyo's tradition for devoting years of intensive polish to each major project, and you might see how Mario just got placed on the biggest back burner imaginable. And that is the heart of our conflict. Donkey Kong Bananza appears to be occupying the spotlight at EPD Tokyo, fueling the suspicion that we might have to wait several years before Nintendo is ready to even drop the faintest tease of another 3D Mario. Ellis and Yang, during a revealing conversation, suggested that the next Mario might arrive very late in the Nintendo Switch 2's lifespan. That might mean 4, 5, or even 6 years from now, if the team truly is devoting its full resources to the Kong. That is downright shocking to fans who have grown accustomed to at least getting a hint of the next Mario adventure every few years, especially given how Super Mario Odyssey launched within the first year of the original Nintendo Switch's life cycle. Now, let's talk about the significance of EPD Tokyo. This heavyweight division within Nintendo is the star-studded ensemble that catapulted games like Super Mario Galaxy straight into the stratosphere of gaming greatness. Their knack for combining platforming perfection with boundless creativity has turned them into something of a golden goose for the company. So, naturally, any speculation that they might switch focus from Mario to Donkey Kong for a time is going to send shockwaves through the fandom. After all, we are dealing with the same group that flawlessly orchestrated Cappy's airborne hijinks in Super Mario Odyssey. If the rumor is correct, they are currently crafting Donkey Kong Bananza with equal amounts of dedication and meticulousness, effectively delaying their capacity to jump back into Mario's realm. But how do fans feel about it? On the one hand, Donkey Kong Bananza looks undeniably fun. Yesterday's Direct left countless viewers bobbing their heads to that iconic jungle beat. And who can deny that Donkey Kong, with his quirky sense of mishap and comedic style, has earned a fresh spotlight? Yet on the other hand, Mario fans are famously impatient, especially when so many have already replayed Odyssey over and over to scratch that 3D Mario itch. There is a sense of longing for new, uncharted kingdoms to explore. Certain fans are crossing their fingers that perhaps, just perhaps, Nintendo has a second team quietly tinkering with Mario behind the scenes. But as soon as the question arises, the experts quickly remind us about the scale and intricacy Nintendo invests in each 3D Mario. Rushing such a legendary franchise is a borderline sacrilegious deed, so it is far more likely that Nintendo is simply biding its time. If you are as astonished by that possibility as we are, now might be a good moment to show a little love. Tap that like button if you want more in-depth breakdowns of gaming's most surprising developments. Now, let's step back and examine the bigger picture. Nintendo has an entire new console generation on the way, widely referred to by fans as the Switch 2. Some insiders suspect that this system will release with a relatively conservative library of first-party blockbusters in its early life. Key titles people always expect, like a new Mario or a new Zelda. Yet all is not as we might have assumed. With potential heavy hitters delayed, the Switch 2's first few years become a question mark, a time of puzzle pieces floating in the air, waiting to settle. Kit Ellis pointed out what many are thinking. It is quite a risk for Nintendo to launch a new console without a giant Mario game anchoring the hype, or an immediate new Zelda waiting in the wings. Sure, we might get a remaster or a smaller spin-off here and there, but the epic blockbusters are rumored to be off in the distance, making the console's foundation possibly shakier than its predecessors. Some fans might recall how the original Nintendo Switch launched with The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and, not too far after, Super Mario Odyssey, effectively giving fans two monstrous exclusives in the opening year. That powerful 1-2 punch carried the Switch's success across the globe. If that formula changes, and the Switch 2 must rely on second-tier or more experimental titles, could that hamper the console's immediate success? Detractors might say yes, but others trust Nintendo's ability to innovate in ways that keep players enthralled, even without the instant gratification of an enormous Mario title. The question is, can Donkey Kong Bananza step into that spotlight as a major blockbuster carrying enough hype to sustain the Switch 2 in its infancy? And that leads us to wonder, what is so special about Donkey Kong Bananza that it might justify postponing a new 3D Mario? We know Donkey Kong is no stranger to success, weaving up a legendary franchise that kicked off decades ago. The Direct triggered widespread excitement when new costumes, varied environments, and exhilarating cooperative possibilities paraded across the screen. Observers noted the fluid movement reminiscent of Odyssey's dynamic platforming, the smoothness of Donkey Kong's animations, and the sense of wonder in exploring the jungle felt distinctly EPD Tokyo. Could it be that they are shifting Donkey Kong's brand to be as vast and imaginative as Mario's globe-trotting escapades have been in the past? If that is the case, the excitement is understandable. Donkey Kong has long existed as a pillar of Nintendo's brand identity, and a full-blown, next-level adventure game starring the gentle giant would undeniably make waves. Still, the question keeps getting asked. Would that not mean that our dear Mario is left in limbo while the team invests all their precious development muscle in Donkey Kong? If the marketing experts are right, we may be looking at a scenario where Nintendo is not merely dabbling with Donkey Kong Bananza, but going all in. That means multi-year development cycles, relentless focus on refining every banana peel slip comedic moment, and ensuring it stands toe-to-toe with the pantheon of Nintendo's greatest hits. From a financial standpoint, it makes sense to diversify Nintendo's stable of major properties. After all, Mario is unstoppable in terms of brand power, but building another equally strong presence for the Switch 2 era might help keep the console's library well-rounded. The risk, of course, is that overshadowing Mario for too long might dampen momentum or cause fans to question whether the big plumber is losing his place as Nintendo's top priority. Insiders claim there is no reason to panic. It is just part of Nintendo's strategic scheduling. But for those invested in Mario's future, the indefinite timetable can sting a bit. As if that were not enough drama, we must also factor in The Legend of Zelda. Tears of the Kingdom launched to massive acclaim, so naturally people wonder, what is next for Hyrule? With each new console generation, a new Zelda mainline game is typically a bright beacon of possibility. But just like Mario, the Zelda team might not be ready to churn out another epic in record time. If we combine that with Mario's potential slow roll, we might see the Switch 2's early lineup revolve around fresh experiences like Donkey Kong Bananza and perhaps some smaller spin-offs or remasters to fill the gap. As you might imagine, this entire puzzle is loaded with unknowns. Nintendo is famously cryptic, rarely confirming or denying rumors until it is ready to showcase something concrete. Perhaps EPD Tokyo has found a way to split its staff, with half working on Donkey Kong Bananza and half sketching out the blueprint for Mario's next big journey. But ex-Nintendo marketing leads like Kit Ellis and Krista Yang are skeptical about that possibility. Their recollection is that EPD Tokyo is thorough, methodical, and not prone to dividing its best assets. They wholeheartedly believe that if EPD Tokyo is indeed behind Donkey Kong Bananza, it likely means we are not going to see a new 3D Mario in the near future. For those who cannot wait to see what next-level leaps Mario might take with the Switch 2's hardware, this verdict could be a tough pill to swallow. Let us pivot to the potential bright side. In some alternate timeline, maybe Donkey Kong Bananza becomes a smash hit that reinvents the entire Donkey Kong brand. Could it fill that massive gap in the Switch 2's launch window, delivering an experience that stands proudly alongside the best of Mario's adventures? Nothing is off the table. We have to remember that the folks at EPD Tokyo are behind some of the most magical experiences in gaming. If they pour that level of innovation and heart into Donkey Kong Bananza, we might be on the verge of a groundbreaking platformer. That alone could be an event worth celebrating. And by the time we do finally get that coveted new 3D Mario, maybe the Switch 2 will already have proven itself with a robust lineup of little surprises and hidden gems. Nintendo has, at various points, thrived by creating hype around lesser-known franchises, so it is plausible that this is a strategic decision. After all, Mario practically sells himself. Once the announcement trailer for a new 3D Mario drops, hype will explode whether it comes 1 or 6 years after the console's debut. Fans willing to wait are likely going to appreciate the polished final product, free from the pitfalls of a rushed release. One angle worth mentioning is the possibility that Nintendo, mindful of building Donkey Kong Bananza's own identity, wants to ensure the game does not get overshadowed by glimpses or teasers of the next big Mario. If they came out tomorrow and said, "Yes, we confirm EP Tokyo is splitting its attention between a new Mario and Donkey Kong," that might inadvertently reduce Bananza's momentum. We have heard from Krista Yang that she suspects Nintendo could be less than transparent about EPD Tokyo's involvement exactly because they do not want to invite that overshadowing effect. Better to keep the focus on Donkey Kong, let the hype breathe, and avoid letting fans' minds skip straight to Mario. Who knows, maybe that is also part of the reason behind the hush-hush approach. Nintendo might fear that if fans realize a new 3D Mario is not coming anytime soon, it will color the excitement around Donkey Kong Bananza with a shade of frustration. On the flip side, if EP Tokyo's involvement is fully confirmed, that clarifies that Donkey Kong could be extraordinary, but then people might feel resentful about the wait for Mario. It is a delicate balancing act, and Nintendo is probably carefully orchestrating every reveal and exclusive snippet of news. This is a company that thrives on controlling the narrative, timing each direct, each teaser, to keep fans guessing in all the best ways. So, where does all of this leave the next 3D Mario? The short answer is up in the air. If we trust the likes of Ellis and Yang, who have years of experience working under Nintendo's marketing machine, it could be half a decade or more before the final product touches down on the Switch 2. That does not automatically mean the game is not quietly in development, only that Nintendo might not want to pull away any resources from Donkey Kong Bananza's big moment. Or maybe they are still in pre-production, hashing out which new gameplay mechanics could revolutionize Mario's next journey. Considering Odyssey introduced the brilliant capture mechanic, fans expect something equally groundbreaking the next time around. That kind of innovation rarely arises overnight. Meanwhile, a second looming question remains. How will the public respond to a potential dry spell for Mario and Zelda in the early Switch 2 years? Perhaps Nintendo will fill that gap with strong third-party support, potential new IPs, or surprisingly robust launch titles we have never even guessed at. Alternatively, maybe we will see a wave of expansions or spin-offs that keep fans engaged until the big reveals. One thing is certain, for every question answered, 3 more appear. The Switch 2 is shaping up to be a fascinating console cycle, where the usual heavy hitters might take their sweet time in emerging. If you have been on the fence about how this might shape the future of Nintendo, now could be the perfect moment to subscribe to our channel. We have plenty more thorough investigations and no-nonsense analysis ready to go, and we would love for you to join us on this journey. Through all of this, it is important to remember that fans have an extraordinary ability to adapt. Many folks did not see Xenoblade Chronicles becoming such a beloved RPG mainstay on the Switch, nor did anyone predict the fervor around Splatoon's ever-growing success. Who is to say Donkey Kong Bananza will not be the next big phenomenon to seize the Nintendo fanbase's imagination? While Mario will inevitably return for his victory lap, it could be that the timeline is extended by years in order to accommodate a truly special experience for Donkey Kong, showcasing jump and roll action that elevates the entire platforming genre. Stepping further into speculation territory, some enthusiasts believe that once Donkey Kong Bananza is out in the wild, EPD Tokyo might have learned new lessons and techniques that will cross-pollinate into Mario's next big romp. Think of how Super Mario Galaxy's success led into the remarkable level design innovations in Odyssey. In that sense, the extra weight for Mario might yield an even bigger payoff for fans. When we do finally get a trailer, it could be loaded with fresh mechanics, meticulously layered platforming challenges, and a sense of wonder that surpasses all previous Mario adventures. Delayed gratification can sometimes yield the sweetest reward. At the same time, though, the clock keeps ticking. 4 years, 5 years, 6 years for the new Mario, these are not small numbers. By the time that hypothetical window edges closer, the Switch 2 might be well into its life cycle. That is exactly why Ellis and Yang used the phrase late generation for the possible arrival time. If we think back to the past, some popular consoles have had star titles released near the tail end of their run. That can be both an advantage and a disadvantage. On the plus side, the console's hardware can be pushed to its fullest potential after developers have thoroughly mastered it. On the minus side, some fans may have moved on to the next big thing by then. Speculative though this all may be, it certainly lights a spark in devoted Nintendo fans yearning for clarity. There is something undeniably thrilling about seeing the puzzle unfold piece by piece. We know Donkey Kong Bananza is shaping up to become a crucial part of Nintendo's new generation. We suspect EPD Tokyo is at the helm because of the striking similarities between Bananza's style and Odyssey's visuals. We hear from credible voices that, historically, EPD Tokyo does not juggle multiple massive projects with ease. And so we deduce that the next 3D Mario, while still guaranteed at some point in the future, could be a distant dream at this stage. Across the community, conversations range from pure excitement about Bananza's potential to mild annoyance that fan-favorite Mario might take a backseat for so long. Then again, Donkey Kong is no mere understudy. He is one of the earliest members of Nintendo's stable of memorable characters, worthy of a top-tier production. And if the Mario Odyssey crew is behind him, we could see a fusion of nostalgia and novelty that catapults Donkey Kong Bananza to instant legendary status. Perhaps the key takeaway is that patience has always been a pillar of Nintendo's approach. Whenever the company invests heavily in a project, it does so with unwavering conviction and meticulous attention to detail. If that means fans have to wait half a decade for a new 3D Mario, Nintendo likely believes it will be well worth the sacrifice, especially if Donkey Kong Bananza proves to be a majestic lead-in to a new console era. The question remains whether mainstream fans and newcomers can be equally captivated by the big gorilla, or if they will hold out for the plumber in red overalls. That interplay of expectations might shape the narrative for the Switch 2's early years in a huge way. Whichever side of the debate you fall on, one fact is undeniable. People love to speculate about Nintendo. The hush-hush environment fosters creativity, as fans and insiders alike race to fill in the blanks. In the not-too-distant future, we could see a brand-new DK saga blossom before our eyes, culminating in a dramatic carnival of banana-fueled success. And eventually, one day, a dazzling new 3D Mario trailer might crash onto the scene, dwarfed only by the unstoppable wave of excitement that follows. So, hold on tight if you cherish that glimmer of possibility. Because in Nintendo's world, tomorrow's revelations could be more surprising than anything we imagined today. Thanks for joining this detailed, rumor-rich ride into the world of Donkey Kong Bananza and the uncertain future of 3D Mario. If you have enjoyed dissecting all the clues, weaving the speculation into a full tapestry of anticipation, and feeling a surge of excitement at the mere thought of EPD Tokyo's next masterpiece, then you are right where you need to be. And if this has spurred a pang of eagerness for more juicy details or deeper speculation, you know the drill. Be sure to stay updated so you never miss a single twist in this ongoing saga. Perhaps the next big bombshell will land sooner than we think, or maybe we will be kept guessing for years. Either way, the game is on. And the future of Nintendo's iconic franchises might be more unpredictable than ever before.